Hello, everybody. My name is Ben. I am a senior coding specialist here at Learning People. I've been here for 9 years, and I'm going to take a bit of time today to talk you through some of the different aspects of a career in coding. We're going to talk about front-end web development a little bit in this session as well, but there's other sections that we'll bring up as we go to kind of relate quite heavily to each other. And Marisha is also going to take some time to talk us through career services and how that works, because that's a really vital part of the overall service that we provide to our students. Is, you know, you've got the skills now, you've got the qualification portfolio and everything you need. Well, then, you know, what happens next? That, you know, getting the job is why you do this. And then the star attraction of this particular event is going to be Abby, one of our existing students, who is currently doing our full stack web development program. So I'll take just a minute to talk you through the Learning People, just for those of you who might not know exactly who we are or what we do. Learning People have been around for about 12 years now, and in that time we've become the largest e-learning provider in Europe. I think for obvious reasons, like we have a very strong dedication to making sure that our students have the skills that employers are actually looking for. Great qualifications, career support, and ultimately I would say that we are best described as a career change or a career start school, because 90% of our students we take from wherever they are with their life now, if they know nothing about coding or whether they know a lot about coding, we take you from wherever you are now up until the point where you actually get that first job. That's what we do in its simplest form. And we have a huge amount of partnerships with some of the biggest names in tech, our Industry Advisory Council. Most recently, I think it's worth noting, we recently partnered with an organisation called Tech UK, which is an incredible organisation which is devoted to the advancement of technology in the UK. And they have members like IBM, like Dell, Google, there's hundreds of them. And this is a really proud moment for us, actually. It's a big point to mention, because we're actually the only online training provider that is part of this group. So something that we're really, really proud of. So that's basically us in a little 30-second window. I hope all of that makes sense. Over to Marisha in just a sec to talk you through career services, and then we'll get right into it with Abby, and I'll answer some questions at the end for you as well. Okay, so over to Marisha.
Thanks, Ben. Hi, everyone. My name's Marisha, and I've got 12 years experience as a recruiter, and I've been with Learning People for the past 3 years. So we launched Career Services over a year ago now, with the aim of giving our students the tools and the confidence to navigate the job market and to take control of your careers. And we'll take you through a 3-phase process that's tailored to your own desired career path, whether you wish to do front end, back end, or full stack, and whether you wish to be perm, contract, or freelance. So as students, you're already learning the skills that are in demand from employers, which is brilliant. But how do you build the confidence to go out into the marketplace and engage with employers? How do you get the confidence to make those first steps? So phase 1 is all about laying down those foundations in order to build your brand and to become a credible candidate. How to create a software engineering CV, for example, how to optimize your LinkedIn profile properly, and how to start researching the tech industry and identifying companies that you'd like to work for. So at this stage, you'll be having a one-to-one consultation with myself or Robin. And because you're all in different situations with different goals, we can really make a plan and move you on to then phase 2. So this is all about networking, and are you doing everything that you can to get noticed as a developer? That's what it's all about. And we really encourage you to get out there and to build connections with software development professionals and to grow your network in the world of code. And that way you start to uncover job opportunities that aren't even being advertised. And phase 3 is geared all around applying for jobs, working with recruiters, interviewing, and all the way through to you landing your role. So all of these phases will support you sort of through, and they're broken down really, really clearly. So we're constantly making steps towards better supporting our students. And one of the things that we launched during lockdown are monthly interactive workshops. And that's focused on job searching. And this is a really sort of good opportunity for you as students to ask questions and to hear what fellow students are also experiencing right now in the marketplace. So that's us in a nutshell, and hope to work with some of you soon.
Awesome. Thank you, Marisha. So over to the main feature, Abby. So Abby, as I mentioned, is one of our students on the full stack web development program. And Abby, why don't you take a moment to just tell us a little bit about your journey so far and why you wanted to make a transition from you were a driving instructor first into something completely new like coding.
Well, the vast majority of it was thanks to COVID. Obviously, as a driving instructor, you can't socially distance in a car. So stuck at home for many months. I was very bored. So I figured I'd give a couple of things a go. I had a look at cybersecurity and wasn't really that fun for me. And then I did the 5-day Code Institute challenge thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that was it. I was absolutely hooked.
Just
pretty
like
much.
that.
Yeah.
It
was 5 days of crazy work, but so rewarding at the end of it. And that was just 5 days.
Some of you might not know, so all of our coding students will go through a coding assessment, which gives them an opportunity to kind of dip their toe in the water, see how they take to it. And also it's important for us to know that we're putting you on the right path as well. And yeah, some students like Abby here just take to it like a duck to water and yeah, just absolutely kill it. So well done. Okay, and how would you say, it's an odd question, but how would you say coding has changed your life?
Well, for me, it's very much it's a complete flip of how my life is. So I went from driving instructing, working 12 hours a day, quite often 7 days a week, just to make rent. Wasn't great.
Yeah.
Whereas now I have evenings and weekends.
Wow. Cool.
First time in my life, and it's fantastic.
Okay, and in your case, what would you say is the best thing about being a coder?
I'd actually say the community.
Yeah.
So every single person I've spoken to that is even slightly related to coding or development has been the loveliest, most friendly people I've ever met. And coming from, like, before I was a driving instructor, I worked in pubs and restaurants, and the atmosphere there can get really toxic. And coming from that into the lovely world where everyone is just here to help each other out. Like, if you have a problem that you can't solve, pop it up on LinkedIn, pop it up on a Slack channel, like anybody that you know that does development, send them a message.
Do you talk with a lot of the other students on Slack there?
Oh yeah. We've got a little group chat that's been going since the last hackathon.
That's great.
We've just been
again, just for any of you here that might not know, we have an opportunity for our students to interact with each other through various forums. We use Slack, and it's just really nice for us to see. I think that students, they talk to each other, they help each other out, share ideas and work, and sometimes I see them helping each other get jobs. So yeah, it's a really, really nice community to be a part of for sure. And Abby, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you're doing now for work?
So now I'm a UI developer at GIFGAF, which is great fun. I'm making lots of pretty animations, which is great.
And that's obviously, you haven't even finished the full stack course yet, and you've managed to get your first job, which is fantastic. And I think you mentioned before you got that job just through a friend who kind of worked there, and you just had the right skills at the right time, basically. Is that pretty much how it went? Yeah,
for that job it was. I had actually had about 3 jobs at the same time offer me a job.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I had
those.
Yeah, I had GIFGAF and then 2 other companies, and within the same week I got job offers from all of them. And then it was a case of, okay, where do I actually want to work? Like, what works out best for me? So that was a very nice confidence boost.
Okay, and how have you found the training so far?
Fantastic. So it's a mix of like written lessons and then video lessons and walkthrough projects. So they kind of talk you through how to do something while you're doing it at the same time. which those for me are just gold dust. It's great.
And have you used a lot of the support features?
Yeah, so my mentor is great. Absolutely fantastic. So you do an introduction meeting with your mentor, and then there's 3 calls per project, and then a careers call as well with them. And it's basically just when you start the project, chat your idea through with them, show them your little mock-up of what you want it to look like, wireframe. And they'll then either give you pointers of how to make it better or give you the go-ahead to go for it. And then halfway through, you check in with them again and they say, oh, you're doing good here, you need a bit more work here. And they kind of prompt you to improve the bits that you need to improve. And then the third one is generally them going through and going, this is good, this is good, this is good. Occasionally there's you could add a little feature in here. Generally that's the way the calls go, and they're really lovely. What else is there? So there's tutor support, who are an absolute genius with bugs. I don't know how they do it. Every time I have a bug, I go straight to tutor support. Within 10 minutes, my bug is fixed.
It's like I often hear that sort of thing from students. I've experienced it myself a little bit, where you might be looking at pages of code, something's not right because the website's not displaying correctly or something. You get a tutor involved, they can share screens with you, and they'll be like, right then, that's wrong, that's wrong, and that's wrong. I'm like, why didn't I see it myself? So yeah, but that's exactly what they're there for. We all need that one-on-one guidance from time to time. So are you working with other front-end developers at the moment?
At work I am. In the course technically I am at the moment because of the hackathon.
Right.
That's a point for people who don't know. So a hackathon is, they put a little group of us together and give us a theme, and you have to basically create a project on that theme, and it's based on getting you used to working collaboratively, working with other developers, gets you used to Git and merges and things like that, all the technical side of putting a project together with other people, which honestly, go for them. Do the hackathons, they're great.
Good fun. And in your case, you're obviously working in a kind of front-end UI capacity right now, but would you say that studying the full stack course and all of the different aspects has given you the ability to kind of understand it all from different angles? Has it benefited you in any way?
Yeah, definitely. So even though I'm a front-end developer at the moment with my job, I still have to understand how the command line works, how the build processes work. I need to be able to go into the build processes and fix the problems that arise when I'm deploying code. So actually having my back-end knowledge now sometimes puts me in a better position than my boss is in, because she doesn't know back-end.
Brilliant. Okay, so that's great, because I think for any of you that might not be aware, when we refer to full stack web development, we're talking about one person that does both front end and back end web development. Front end is all the things that you can see and interact with on a website, kind of building out the look and feel of a website. And back end is all the things going on behind the scenes that give websites great features, basically. Now, these are two separate job roles, but one person who does both is a full stack developer. And I've always thought that, and I've seen lots of evidence to suggest that having that really well-rounded skill set not only gives you the opportunity to kind of take your career off in different directions later on, but as Abby says, it gives you an opportunity to just have a far greater understanding with a more comprehensive skill set of all the different things that's going on around you and the challenges that perhaps your colleagues might face, but you're doing your bit and they're doing their bit and so on. So yeah, when I refer to full stack developer, it's one person that builds an entire website themselves doing front and back. So Abby, what advice would you have to anybody in the audience today that is perhaps thinking about a new career and just isn't sure what to do?
Have a go at the 5-day coding challenge from Code Institute. 100%. for me, that was very much I'll just give it a go. If I like it, that's great. If I don't like it, it's only 5 days. And then it's launched this entire career and life for me that I never expected. And also, don't be scared to tell people that you don't understand things. A lot of people that I talk to are really nervous about saying, actually, I don't get that. And then for me, being able to turn around to even my boss and say, look, I don't understand this bit of code. Can you talk me through it? It gives you respect from people as well as the knowledge from them to make you a better coder in the future.
Yeah, and you're absolutely spot on with that. Like, I think with coding, you so rarely feel like you're actually fully understanding everything, right? I think I watched your story tag on our website, and thank you for that. One of the things you spoke about was imposter syndrome, which is absolutely a real thing, particularly among coders, because you never feel like you fully get everything, and you never feel like your skills are aligned with the task. And it's just one of those things that you just kind of have to power through. There really isn't a fix-all for it. There's no cure for it. But one of the things you said in your story tagger is one of the best pieces of advice that I give to students every single day, which is just don't stop, don't give up. Because honestly, in my 9 years of doing this, the only people that I've actually witnessed fail at becoming a coder are people that gave up, people that stopped. So even if you're not getting it all, that's the best advice that I can give, is just keep going no matter what. And like you say, ask for help as well.
Sorry, just to butt in there as well, Ben, but just on that point of not stopping, when people finish the course, sometimes students will then go from, okay, I've got my full stack diploma, I'm going to apply for jobs. And that's often when they stop coding and they'll just focus on applying for jobs. And then they might start going for interviews, but they might have a few tests here and there to do. And then they might not get through, or they'll think, ooh, I'm lacking knowledge in this particular area. And that's when the confidence can start to go. And actually, that is the most important time to keep on coding. As soon as you finish, just keep building on those skills that you've been learning. So sorry, just had to say that.
No, jump in with little snippets like that. That's great. Abby, thank you so much for your time. Let's jump into, I'm sure perhaps you can jump in and help us answer some of these questions from the audience maybe. But so we've got a bunch here to go through. We got Yvette says, as a beginner, is it better to focus on front end or full stack? I could answer that, but Abby, how would you answer that?
I'd say regardless of which you're starting on, you'll always start with front end, because you need the front end basis to build the back end knowledge on top of.
Yeah, exactly that. So I think maybe to expand the question a little, and maybe what's being asked is, should I just focus on front end, or should I try to become a full stack developer? And the difference is that if you were to just focus on front end, which is where, as Abby said, that's where you're going to get started anyway, that's great, and that's going to get you to where you're going. But it's not going to give you a great understanding or a great appreciation for all the other aspects of what's going to relate to your job. You've just got the one kind of front end part. And I'd also say that as a full stack developer, it's going to give you the opportunity to move your career forward more quickly as well, and the opportunity to move off into different things. Like, for instance, one of the coding languages that you'll learn is Python for the back end. And Python can and is used in so many industries. It's actually the second most popular coding language in the world today. Just overtook Java last week. And Python is used in data science. It's used in cybersecurity, manufacturing, artificial intelligence, robotics. I mean, you name it, you could probably build it using Python. And my point is that having that well-rounded skill set is going to give you the opportunity to move off into other things later on, should you want to. We have an Adnan who says, what do I need to learn before getting into development? So nothing really, you just have to kind of try. So as Abby was saying, the 5-day coding challenge, and we say 5 days, it's a 5-hour coding challenge. It's just an hour a day. It's not 5 straight days. And even then, the way that we break it up now is that we give everybody full access to the whole thing straight away. So you can just do a couple of hours here or all 5 hours in one go or whatever. But it's an opportunity for anybody here, like reach out, get in touch with us, and I can set you up on it. It's just an email I send out with login details for you. But it's a great opportunity for you to dip your toe in the water, see how you feel about it. It will be challenging. That's kind of the point of it. And as we were saying earlier as well, you're not going to feel like you're getting the whole thing because we're covering quite a lot in a relatively short amount of time. It's more an exercise of can you get through it and how did you find it, and how you felt about it. And like as in Abby's case, she absolutely loved it, which is great and a really clear sign that she should be a coder. And lots of our students have similar experiences. So I'd say if you are at all wondering about what you need before becoming a developer, first of all, you need to be sure that it's the right path for you. And the coding challenge is a great way to be sure of that. We have a John who says, I'm 55, but looking for a career change. Am I too old to learn to code? No, I'd say absolutely not. We have students in their 50s, some in their early 60s, because what is retirement age now, like 69 or something. So I'd say you've got about 15 years ahead of you there, and 15 years is a long time in any career. Bear in mind, most coders probably get to the top of their field in like 5 or 6 years before they start kind of venturing out and doing other things. So that's a really, really long amount of time. And also it opens up so many different kinds of doors for you as well. I find, I don't want to offend anybody here, but I find a lot of my older students, they actually want to slow down a little bit. They want the opportunity to be able to work from home, work part-time, or just do contract work, so they can work when they want to, not when they don't, which is, I think that's an amazing way to enjoy the later part of your career is to slow down and work when you want to and have time to do other things as well. Spend with your family, go see the world or something. Nobody ever gets to their deathbed and thinks, like, you know what, I wish I spent less time with family or less time seeing the world or something. That it just never happens, right? So if you get the opportunity to do that stuff, then great. If you're asking, am I too old to have the ability? Then no, absolutely not. I on that front as well. And again, the coding assessment is really the best way for you to really be sure whether it's right or, as in some cases, wrong for you. But it's really the only way that you're going to know is to try.
I've got a guy actually who I've just been working with who has just transitioned from being a chef for 26 years to a developer, and he's 50. And yeah, it's totally doable, and he's absolutely loving it.
Did you help him get that first job?
He was applying for different jobs, so I worked with him through the career services phase 1, phase 2, and then he had applied for a role. Actually, do you know what? I'm not going to tell the full story because I think he wants to come and speak on a webinar one day. But
is he going to do one for us?
Yeah. But I think he applied for a role that wasn't right for him, and then when another opportunity came up with them, he got the job with them. So yeah, it's happening all the time, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, we have a Bruce who says, I have no experience in web development. How long will it take to get certified and into a new role? Actually, I'd say you guys could probably answer this better than I could. So Abby, how long did it take you to complete the course? Well, I think you've come to the later stages now.
Yeah, I'm almost finished. It's taken me just under a year, but I also took 4 months out to do the work experience.
Okay.
Oh, that's brilliant.
So,
and, sorry, with the projects, that makes a massive difference, doesn't it?
Oh yeah.
Being able to showcase them.
Yeah, they look at that as your portfolio and go, oh, okay, well, the first site you ever coded, it looks like this and it's great. And here's the progress that you've done, and they look at the time difference and go, oh, you're a quick learner. Great. So that was quite a big thing when I was applying to jobs, was how quickly I could learn things based purely on the time between my projects.
Brilliant. That's great. Okay, and Marisha, I guess the later part of that question, how long will it take to get into a new role? How do you answer that?
Well, Abby is proof. You don't have to finish the course to get a job. We tend to advise that we like to work with our students after their second milestone project, because it just, you know, they've got some tangible experience. Then they've been doing front end, and they can start showcasing their skills, their projects on LinkedIn and, you know, all the other channels that they've got, and engaging with employers and actually having something to talk about. So it's happening all the time that students will get jobs before they actually finish, and then it's just the challenge of balancing and juggling the course with a new job. It's a nice problem to have.
Yeah, absolutely. And lastly, we have Bruce, who says, I have no experience in web development. We just literally just did that one. David, sorry, says, what is the demand for junior developers, and how do I find out where the best jobs are? Again, Marisha, probably best for you, that one.
Well, in terms of demand,
huge,
well, with Abby getting, you had what, 3 offers in a week? That's pretty cool. How did you find the market then when you were applying for roles at that point?
I did it a little bit unconventionally. So rather than going through LinkedIn and those kind of channels, I attended a seminar, like a digital networking event.
Amazing.
With actually women in tech, which was great.
Perfect.
And 2 of the job offers came straight from that. So I was just chatting with the companies, and then they emailed me afterwards and were like, right, let's set up an interview. We like you.
Oh, amazing.
Wow,
and that is perfect. I mean, that's what we talk about in phase 2. We talk about networking, and we talk about, don't just like use multiple methods, balance your job search with different methods. Don't just focus on applying for jobs online that are being advertised, because that's probably, you know, that's a very small number of jobs that are out there. You have to engage, network, talk to different people, get people to introduce you to other people that they know, and that is how you start coming across that hidden job market that people talk about, and opportunities that come up that you are, you know, front of the line for, basically.
In regards to the demand for coders right now as well, I mean, junior coders, but all coders, it only increases every year by a massive amount. It's already a job saturated industry. The last graphic I saw was that there's like 3.7 jobs to every coder right now. So often coders will have multiple jobs. And also we get reports from Stack Overflow and Indeed about the demand for these sorts of things. We found most recently that usually the demand for coders increases by around 4 or 5% each year, which is quite a lot in an already job saturated industry. But in the last 2 years through COVID, it's increased by 15%, which is a monstrous leap in demand. And I think the reason behind that, or at least part of it, is that companies right now, they're scrambling to try and improve their online presence. They want to survive the oncoming recession. COVID's been tough for everybody. And having coders that are able to improve your internal technology, your online presence, your SEO, social media, all that sort of stuff, is a great way to survive the oncoming recession. And for all of that, we need more coders. And even on a broader spectrum as well, I'd say as technology itself becomes a bigger and more important part of our everyday lives, you know, we need coders to be coding all of that stuff, right now, from like coding the elevators that we take, or the onboard computers with cars and all that stuff. Like, we need coders for all of this stuff. So it's one of those industries where demand is just not a thing that has ever been an issue in the coding world, not really. So that is basically all of our questions. I have one final one for Abby, which is, what would you say is next for you, Abby, once you've completed the course and you're comfortable and kind of looking toward the future? Like, I guess so many students talk to me and they're like, you know what, I really want to work from home or travel the world, make loads of money, or whatever it might be. Like, have you got your heart set on something for the future, basically?
Well, I'm very much an environmentally friendly kind of focus. So I really want to do some kind of work on self-driving cars. Would be like top. That would be great. Or something to do with AI would be really cool as well. So that's kind of long-term future goals.
Well, both of those fields use Python, so you're heading in the right direction, which is fantastic. Okay, so that is it from us. Once again, to Abby, thank you so much for taking the time to spend with us today and tell us about your journey with us so far. And thank you, Marisha, as well, for talking about the student career opportunities. I think we're going to put my email up on the screen. If not, you're going to get an email from us afterwards with a recording as well, and you can simply reply to that. You should get that later today or tomorrow. And the best advice I could give anybody here right now that is thinking about a career in coding or just a new career in general, honestly, there's a few different things that we work with here. But get in touch, and if you're not sure whether or not coding is right for you, then find out. You can do the coding assessment with us, find out if it's right for you, because if it is, then you should be a coder. You're going to love it. Everybody does. But even if it isn't, at least you know that's not the path for you and you can focus on other things. So please do get in touch. Thank you so much for spending some time with us today, and farewell for now.